What's up, nerds? So, my name's Jeff, or NCAT. I don't have a Patreon yet, but I do have a little Discord. So, give it a little joiny-poo down to the bottom. We are a bunch of nerds just sharing jokes and stuff. Sometimes I run community games, and I share videos that I'm working on. Sometimes I take community advice or suggestions or whatever. So, if you like what I do, hit the sub button and join the Discord. I've been running my Arden campaign since January now. That's the steampunk world that I talked about in this video. We've been doing the whole thing in TaleSpire. We have mostly weekly sessions on Thursdays, and at the beginning of every session, just like I imagine every other group, we start with a recap. What happened last week? Where are we again? You know, what if we skipped a week or two? What's going on? Every TaleSpire campaign has a default board. It's a landing page that you and your players arrive at every time they open the campaign. You can change that page as you go, but what I've done instead is I just leave it as one page, and I've turned it into a kind of visual table of contents. In small 3x3 squares, I make little recap representations of the previous session. I don't necessarily do it every session, but I do it for every location change or big event. So whenever they travel from place to place, or fight something, or discover something, when the session's over and done with, I make one of these little squares. Then the next time we jump in, while we're waiting for everyone to get set up, hanging out and chatting or doing our weekly recap, the players can kind of bounce around and take a look at where they've been. I gave each of them a little flying dog. This is Alouette. He's one of the recurring NPCs in our game. Everybody gets an Alouette token so they can fly around and just do whatever. When everybody's ready to dive into the session, we all go at once. Now, it makes the beginning of the session a little more fluid and easygoing, and it feels a lot less mechanical. Players aren't joining and getting summons to the correct board one after another, and the casual nature of this board makes them feel a bit more free to just kind of screw around, as opposed to a regular board where they might expose something they weren't supposed to see or not feel like they should move around until everybody's there. Occasionally, I'll drop the players' minis specifically on different spots so they can be like, oh yeah, that's when I got knocked out, or that's when, you know, this player was introduced. On things like this corner, this was a major boss fight. They had been introduced to this enemy in the very first session. He was a big old jackass with a bonky club and a death knight stat block, and they were level 1. So I made it pretty clear that they had to run away, and they made it. So none of them died in the first session, but then on session, I don't know, like 20, they fought him and kicked the hell out of him. And it was a huge battle on the cliffs of a city called Midweld. Like I said, the campaign is steampunk, so that's why there are these cool machines and stuff. I didn't make these. You can find these on Tales Tavern by searching steampunk, and then other people's cool stuff will pop up, and you can be like, oh, I saw that. What's his name? With the guy. Anyway, just a cool idea for a default board. Take it and do whatever you want. Love ya. Bye.